I don't know if you ever really feel ready, but I just had this feeling that would not go away, that I wanted to do things a different way than they were being done. And I just was tired of complaining about it. And I wanted to just take that next step and see like, hey, I don't know if I can do this any better than it's being done, but I'm at least willing to try and stop complaining and move forward in the direction that I want to go.
Hi, you guys. My name is Tina Hong.
And I'm Anna Ostrowski.
And we are excited to have our guest, Jennifer Grinke, on today's video mini-series. So Jennifer just opened up a law firm here locally. And so we wanted to just say thank you so much for joining and start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself and your practice.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me on the show. Like Tina said, I'm Jennifer Grinke. I'm a family law attorney, and I practice in the DFW area. My office is located in Frisco, Texas, and I primarily practice, or actually solely practice, family law. So that would encompass everything from divorces to paternity, adoptions, custody issues, just anything that might relate to the family unit.
And you've been in that field for a long time. You just actually pulled the trigger for your own personal practice. Is that right?
Yeah, so I've practiced family law since 2010, and the beginning of this year, I decided that it was just the right time in my career for me to take that next step and open my own practice so that I could practice family law in the way that I wanted to practice it.
Awesome. And now, what got you interested in family law?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in law school, I had the opportunity to be a guardian ad litem through CASA. So that's Court Appointed Special Advocates. And so through that, I was able to be an advocate for children who are in abused homes and other abusive situations.
Wow.
So I got kind of a firsthand look at what an impact somebody can have in a kid's life or in a family's life when you are in this field of law. So that kind of set me in motion to be interested in family law. Then I took some family law courses and was able to get a job in family law after graduating and passing the bar.
Wow. Oh my gosh, I love that story.
And she's a mother, multi-business owner.
Yeah.
And she looks cute.
Yeah, I know. She looks adorable.
She's like, doesn't even look like a lawyer, right?
And now, where did you go to school? Just so I know that.
So I got my undergrad education at Santa Clara University in California.
Slugs.
And then, what?
Go Broncos.
No,
Is
Broncos.
that their mascot?
Is that y'all's mascot?
No, that's Santa Cruz. That's down the street.
Damn it.
You were close. We're the Broncos.
That's way better than slugs.
Yeah. And then I got my law degree from Gonzaga University in Washington State.
Oh, wow. What brought you to Dallas?
So at the time, the guy I was dating, isn't it always a guy?
Same says I moved to Dallas for a guy too. It's fine.
Is that why you live in Dallas? Yeah, he was from Dallas, so I ended up following him here. And then I just stayed because I loved it.
Oh gosh, okay, same story then. Same.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So real quick, how did you guys meet each other?
We have mutual friends.
Yeah.
That was growing up friends with you, right? Isn't Candace and Abby like youthful friends with you or college friends?
So I met them through Lauren and my other friend Tara. You know Tara, right?
Yeah, Tara.
Yeah. So I met them through them probably in like 2010-ish when I moved here after law school. And so I feel like I grew up with them, but yeah, I've just kind of known them through other friends.
So let me ask you this. How did you meet friends when you moved here? I get that question a lot. Like, Anna, you moved to Dallas. You only knew the guy that I was dating at the time. How did you make friends?
So luckily, the one girl that I knew who was actually dating the guy that I was dating's best friend, she had like a huge friend pool, which includes like Candace and all of them. And so she kind of introduced me to a lot of people. And then just like through work, like coworkers, like practicing in different law firms, there's so many different organizations for young lawyers and young professionals, I'd say, even if you're not an attorney, to just connect and network. And I think you can kind of build relationships through that and find genuine friendships. Yeah. And then now that I have 2 kids, it's almost like so easy to meet other friends because it's just like play date.
Can we all look as good as you after 2 kids? Oh my goodness.
He's crushing still.
I know, and on your own business and start a venture during this time. Oh my God. Dude, some of those things cross your mind.
That's what I was
start your venture during this unpredictable time? Or did you soft open it last year?
No, so I actually started thinking about opening it in December of 2019 and then put in motion to open it in January of 2020 and opened my doors March 1. So I feel like the pandemic did not hit until mid-March where it like actually started affecting our lives.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was just kind of like uncertain times, like how is this going to affect the practice of law? How is this going to affect business or being a business owner? And luckily the practice of law has really adjusted nicely. Everything's done via Zoom. So I have a trial on Monday and it's actually going to be via Zoom. So,
and funny, so it's just, I don't know if this is kind of like a rumor, but people have said Corona has maybe led to a lot of, you're with your spouse a lot and it's highlighting, it's highlighting some of those problems, or it's making you really get to know that other person on a real level. So what are some tips, because you're a wife, you're a mother, you are a business owner, female. What are some tips that someone can, for their relationship, right? What are some that you see commonly, just like divorces and prenuptial things like that?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest things I see with divorces is either poor communication or just has to do with financial issues. So a lot of times I just see people aren't communicating about what it is that they want, or what it is that is hurting them in the relationship, and that also kind of follows with the financial problems. Like a lot of people keep everything separate and then they don't know what each other has, so there leads to like trust issues, or you're spending too much but we're not really looking at the numbers. So kind of just making sure you have like open communication, and if you see those red flags, like addressing it early with the counselor or your spouse, just so that it doesn't lead to resentment down the road.
Yeah. Since you're in that field of work, do you practice those things like before you entered in it? Were you like, because I practice this, so we're going to make sure we do this?
With my husband, or yeah, to some extent. We have like open lines of communication as far as like our finances go, and we don't really have any conflicts. But I think if we did,
shy about what you want.
Yeah, and I don't think really he is either. And for the most part, we're like on the same page, so it's easy. But yeah, I think if we ever had like a hard issue come up, we would definitely like address it with our close group of friends if we couldn't figure it out ourselves, and then like to a counselor or somebody.
So you are, like Tina said now, female business owner, just opened up literally 2 weeks before a global pandemic, and you're a mama of two, and your wife. There's obviously got to be times where you're like, oh my God, can everyone just leave me alone?
Right.
There's got to be times like that. So talk to us a little bit about what you do to get through those times. Mostly, with all the challenges, things going on now, where is your headspace at and how are you overcoming that?
Yeah, I think one of the things I've really focused on, and it's hard because in order to do this, I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning, but I go to Pilates at least 3 times a week.
Yes, girl.
To 6:45 at Beyond Pilates. Shout out to them because they're awesome. But yeah, so I make sure I make the time to do that, because I feel like that's kind of like when I reset each day and take some me time. Even right now, there's not a lot of ways to take me time. But just doing that, and then making sure I'm like taking time with friends or taking time for myself, even if it's just like a walk around the block with my neighbors or something like that. But definitely like
daily practice that you do, like something for yourself.
The Pilates?
Practicing something for yourself daily, or whether it's with your friends or Pilates or.
I try to. I don't know if I like do something every day, but for the most part, I try to at least do one thing that's kind of like a reset, or something that's like helpful just to like mind growth or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And now when you decided, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to open up my own practice. I know a lot of people who have, worked in corporate, or they finish up with school and they're like, I need to do my own thing, but they're really afraid to take that jump. What pushed you to take that jump? How did you know it was the right time? Talk to us about that process.
Yeah, I had been thinking about it for a while, and I know the guy that I actually own the firm with, we had talked about it on and off probably for like the past 2 years, but we both never really felt ready. And I don't know if you ever really feel ready, but I just had this feeling that would not go away, that I wanted to do things a different way than they were being done. And I just was tired of complaining about it. And I wanted to just take that next step and see like, hey, I don't know if I can do this any better than it's being done, but I'm at least willing to try and stop complaining and move forward in the direction that I want to go.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it's really scary, but it ended up being the best thing for me. I feel like I have such a better work-life balance, and I'm just so much happier doing it on my own.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, what would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions or things that you didn't realize when opening up your own business?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't even know where to
Yeah.
start.
I mean, I think because I obviously I practice law, and it's like, okay, I know that aspect of it, but I don't know.
That is very true.
Yeah, yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
got that. But I don't know all the aspects of like owning a business. You know, there's just like this whole other side. So now, not only do I now have to like practice law and keep up with my cases, but I have to run the business. You know, I have to run the
Yeah.
payroll. I have to like make sure I'm doing everything I need to do to be in compliance with my lease. Like just things that I had never really thought about.
Right.
Managing
Or
people.
just making sure you have enough coffee cups in your office.
Yeah.
Say appropriate things on them. Okay.
Say appropriate things on them.
Seriously, sounds like
We have like a funny story. The first day we opened, we obviously were like getting the coffee cups, whatever. We had a consult come in and we weren't really ready, but we're like, well, we can't turn down business. So she comes in, and the cup we give her, it's like one of those funny cups, and it says like, hope I'm not as easy as Monday. I'm as easy as Monday mornings or something. Like it was just like so inappropriate.
Welcome.
You're like,
But
sorry,
it's just, it's
it's
kind of
good.
like one of those fun memories, and it's something we laugh about here.
Oh, that's awesome. So is it just you and your partner right now?
Yeah, so we're the owners, and then another attorney works here, Mary, and we have our paralegal, Ashton.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. And is the goal to expand?
I don't know. We've thought about it, but right now we like keeping it small.
Yeah.
We're all kind of friends, so it's easy. We don't have like office drama or like office conflict. So we're like nervous about expanding. But yeah, maybe someday.
But I think you really, to me, have never been drama or like you're.
I know, she seems so
You're
chill.
like the chill, right?
Yeah, no, I know. It's just like when you expand, then you bring in other personalities, and just there could be
Yeah.
drama amongst other people, even if I'm not involved, and then I got to deal with it. So.
So out of curiosity, do you feel like people always hit you, like people reach out to you when shit's already hit the storm and there's nothing to fix? Or do you encourage people to, hey, maybe before you're getting married, this is a good conversation, you would talk to me? Like what would that look like if it was ideal?
Yeah, I mean, I think nobody really knows like when they're actually going to get divorced. So it's kind of hard sometimes to go in advance. But if the word divorce is being thrown around, then I would suggest at least reaching out to an attorney if you have, you know, like a large estate, or you have kids that you know you're going to fight over, so that you can start taking the right precautions to protect yourself. For example, if one party's talked to an attorney but the other hasn't, they may have been keeping a possession log and writing down all the times they had the kids, or recording conversations. And so if the other person's not doing that and we get to court, then it's kind of like, okay, well, this person has all this evidence, and the other person's just saying, well, I knew that happened too, or this happened too, but it's not as good if you don't actually have the evidence backing up what you're saying.
How do you keep work at work?
Yeah.
Like
Well, her husband works in law too.
I just feel like I would get attached, or I would hear stories like that, and it'd be really hard to not let that. I'm way
Bring it
too
home.
empathetic. But like,
Yeah.
how do you separate that?
I think that just comes with practicing this type of law over time, because I know in my earlier years of practicing, I couldn't separate it very well. And then I
Yeah.
realized like, okay, well, I might be doing my client like a disservice if I'm taking such a strong position in this, because I'm
Very
feeling
true.
so much empathy for them. So I try to step back and like keep, you know, more of a neutral position, obviously be an advocate for my client, but also look at the bigger picture and like, what's best for this person long-term. And to try like, because basically when you see these clients, they're kind of like in a tornado sometimes, because they're going through such a turmoil in their life. And it's just important to like step back and not become part of that, because then you become part of the problem and not helping them reach their goals or getting the best outcome for them.
I feel like I need to remember that.
Yeah.
Like I should have wrote that down.
Do you feel like at any point in time you're like, hey, this isn't realistic? Do you ever tell your clients like, you know, like, has that ever hit?
Yeah.
Hard conversation.
Yeah. Like, are you the one who delivers that?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I'm an advocate for them, but then part of my job is assessing like all the outcomes that could possibly happen, or based on my knowledge of the courtroom or that judge, just kind of like, hey, I've seen this judge do this before, because I want them to have all the information. So obviously, whenever they make a decision, it's always their decision. I'm not going to force them to make a decision, but I want to make sure that they have all the information they need to be able to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes I do have to tell them the hard things, because I mean, you would be upset if I didn't tell you that, and then you got to court and you spent all this money and you got something that you didn't even know was possible.
Yeah. No, I like the way you look at things like that. I need to do that.
So I think you have a lot of things that you handle that are of high stress. How do you balance being awesome at all of them? Because, you know, outside looking in, you're amazing on all fronts, right? So how does that balance?
Yeah, I don't know. How do I balance my awesomeness?
Rub some of this.
Yeah, please.
I really don't know. Some days I'm like, how did I do all this in one day? But yeah, I just kind of, you know, like keep going, like set goals for myself and just try to keep achieving them and just do the best I can. I mean, I just try to go to work every day and like do the best I can for my clients, do the best I can for my family, and be the best I can for myself.
Are you like a crazy focus person? Like I could see you sitting down and like zero distractions. Like I feel like you're the kind of person that like me and Tina are like, wait, something went off. There's something. What?
Yeah.
I feel like you're very focused. Like talk to us about like some habits that you have that you think have helped you to get to this level.
Get focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I am pretty focused. I'm trying to think of habits that have helped me become
right, because they're probably so natural for you, right?
Yeah, I think that that's just kind of my natural personality.
It sounds like okay, 3 days a week I go to Pilates.
Yeah.
Like, this is time with my
Yes, I'm very
vacation with your friends. Like it sounds like you segment your life somewhat.
Yeah, and I'm very like, you know, regimented. Like, okay, Pilates is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Thursday. Those are the days that I know I need to sleep in because I've just gotten up early, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But that's what works for me, and that might not work for everybody.
Absolutely.
I've just found that like routine helps me the most. Like getting my kids on a routine. Every day, you know, I come into my office. I'm sure everybody does this. You know, like get your coffee or whatever, and then I like check every single email first so that I like can set how my day is gonna go.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you must have been the best Girl Scout growing up.
Yeah, I sold the most cookies.
See?
Shocking.
Oh,
so was there ever a time you were like, because, you know, in this conversation, it sounds like you've been very, you know, detached from outcomes of disappointment. Like, how do you get through those tough times? Is there anything that like, is it just like, this is for the best for them, this is for the best for my family? Is there a time where you're like, man, I don't know if this is going to work, and then scaring the shit out of myself?
Yeah, you mean in terms of like my cases?
It could be on my wedding day, like, oh, should I really commit? Opening the practice and signing that last day of the lease that you're committing to.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of any of that stuff, like for me, like I am a Christian, so it's just really like my reliance on God, and that like, oh, hey, this is in God's hands. And I have to trust that like, as long as I'm doing my part, then he's going to do his part. And so it's not in my control anyway. So I can't really be upset about the outcome necessarily. Like, yeah, it doesn't mean like I take it hard sometimes or I'm upset. But for the most part, like getting through it is just like trusting that like, okay, there's a plan bigger than I know. And I have to just understand that that's, you know, this is part of it, and I'll see the bigger picture someday.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Now, if you were knowing and seeing all the different stories and everything that you've experienced yourself and your clients, if you could take like a mid-20 to like late 30s and be like, don't do this, or you should do this, what you would say?
Man, I'm trying to think. Like there could be
put you on a hot spot.
I'm like that could go so many different directions. I definitely have never regretted like traveling or doing any of that stuff. Like I never did study abroad in my undergrad, so I ended up doing it in law school. And I was like, what have I been doing? Why did I not do this for longer in undergrad? So I think travel for sure. Like I wish, you know, like I could have done more when I didn't have kids and it was just easy to like get on a plane. Although it's like when you're younger, it's like you don't have the money. You know, there's like always something.
Right, so it's like, yeah.
But yeah, that would definitely be one of them.
Okay, so one, I want to say, I want you to recap some of the things that you mentioned today. You said, go with your gut and how something makes you feel. Do the best you can, right? And do something for yourself on a regular basis is kind of what keeps you going. And then the best ways to stay in habits for you is really just stay in routine, stay regimented. It kind of helps everybody in your life because you're juggling so many important hats in your life that's the best thing for you. And it sounded like relying on God and not attaching so much emotions to the outcome. Is like what keeps you going every day.
When you kind of turn it too, the way, rather than feeling like you're about to give someone bad news or that it's going to be an icky conversation and you start feeling that emotion, I really respect the way that you turn the conversation and it's like, I have to tell them this because if I don't, then the outcome is you're giving them a disservice. And so I think that's a really healthy way of looking at kind of crappy situations sometimes. Definitely something that I'm going to start doing. So, but we would love for you to share, you know, where people can find out more information about you, more information about your practice, about all the things. And we let you share your screen. Sorry, I just interrupted you.
You're good.
We let you have shared screen access. So if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Which I love. What's your decorator?
Probably herself.
I know.
Okay.
She's good at everything.
I'm not, I promise. So can you guys see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is our firm website, and if you want to get more information about our firm, you can hit contact, and then you can set up a time to talk to us or meet with us. You can also
getting to talk to you first or someone else.
Yeah, so what we have to do is an intake first with our paralegal just to make sure we don't have any conflicts. And so they'll do a quick call with her, like 5-10 minute call, and she'll just basically take down their names, make sure we haven't represented the other side. And then she'll set up a time for them to talk to us or meet with us. And we're doing Zoom meetings, in-person meetings that are socially distant, and then over the phone meetings right now.
Perfect. Oh, I love it. Okay, so GrinkeStewartLaw.com. Beautiful.
Yeah,
I love it.
So do you want to click off of screen share?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I want to say again, thank you so much and congratulations.
For
all that you do.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for just everything that you do for other, people in the community, and you're just a huge advocate to every single one of your clients. So I can see how they're so lucky to have you, and your family is so lucky to have you. And I'm lucky to be your friend. I'm like, I just want to do what she does.
Same.
Well, now we're friends because you're my friend. We're all friends now.
We're all friends.
Sorry.
But I want to say thank you so much, Jen, for joining us today.
Yes.
My name is Tina Hong.
I'm Anna Ostrowski, and have a great weekend, girl. Thank you so much for your
Thank you. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.